Почитувани гледачи, добар ден. Гостин во неделното интервју на Радио Слободна Европа е командантот на НАТО штабот во Скопје и високиот представник на Алијансата, генералот Давид Humar. Генерале, каде е местото на Македонија во новиот концепт на НАТО?
Your country continues to be an important partner to NATO. With its participation in Membership Action Plan and with its support to operations in Kosovo and in Afghanistan, your country shows its will and its readiness to become a full-fledged NATO member. According to the decision from the Bucharest summit in 2008 and that was reaffirmed on the recent Lisbon summit, your country has one more issue to solve. In order to become a member of the alliance, and once you are there, your opinion on the NATO concepts and on the all NATO issues now and in the future will be as relevant as the stance and visions of other member countries.
Велите дека постои уште едно прашање кое што земјава треба да го реши пред да стане членка на Алијансата. Предпоставувам мислите на проблемот со името. Дали тој останува единствениот услов за влез на Македонија во НАТО?
For me, the easiest is to take this opportunity and once again repeat the message sent to your country by NATO leaders at the summit in Lisbon. There they reiterated the agreement from the Bucharest summit to extend an invitation to your country soon as mutual acceptable solution to the name issue has been reached within the framework of the United Nations, and they urged for intensified efforts towards that end. NATO continues to support and assist the reform efforts of the government and welcomes your contribution to ISAF. That was the message from Lisbon for you. But until the name issue is solved, you should remain focused on reforms. I speak especially on your path of defense reforms and continue improving not only this segment but also the rest of the system. This needs to be done anyway, not for NATO, not for anybody else, but primarily for yourself. In the defense reform, the current work on the long-term defense development plan, which is consuming a lot of efforts inside of the Ministry of Defense and the General Staff at the moment, is the right step for the country to stay on the path towards the NATO. I think that name issue is a real issue for you, but I think that for long-term issue is your development, your reforms which should be taken on higher level.
Дали по новата трансформација на оваа организација Западниот Балкан останува и понатаму сфера на интерес на Алијансата?
Yes, I would say even that is NATO very interested in Balkans, maybe from a little bit different perspective. NATO is present in the Balkans for a long time now, namely in Sarajevo, Beograd, Skopje and throughout Kosovo. The main goal of the presence is to erase the reasons for its presence. And here I don't speak about NATO in general, but NATO forces on the field, to minimize the risk for a conflict, to improve the security situation, to improve the general conditions in the countries of the region. As things are progressing, the time when NATO force in this region will be present will no longer be needed, is approaching surely. But also is true that NATO would like to stay in this country as organization, as this country come to the NATO, join NATO.
Генерале, како ги коментирате најавите за намалување на бројот на македонски војници кои учествуваат во меѓународните мировни мисии?
Evidently, your country puts a lot of efforts to participate in peacekeeping operations and missions. However, we understand that current financial situation is not the best one. In this situation, we recommend to our counterparts in the government to look for a proper balance between investment in the reforms and participation in the peacekeeping operations. Only proper balance will be good for your future.
Ширењето на исламскиот радикализам влева страф и на Балканот. Во тој контекст можна ли е дестабилизација на регионот?
I will say no, but any radicalism could be a problem that affects safety and stability. That is why all the efforts of the national and international security structures are directed towards the minimizing the risk of radicals destabilizing the situation. However, currently we do not have any specific argument that supports the fear of destabilization in the Balkans by the Islamic radicalism. And anyway, we all together, we have in place instruments to cope with such possible danger.
Генерале, што ќе добие Македонија од членството во НАТО, освен се разбира гаранција за мир и стабилност? What else?
Peace and stability are crucial, are basis for development and prosperity. Therefore, you will gain better condition for development and prosperity. One could even say that peace and stability are part of the infrastructure. So you need roads, you need airports, you need power, education, bank system, etc. But without peace and stability, all of those will be useless and nobody will invest. And I know that you are interested in the new investment. We are sure that the membership in NATO will support new foreign investments in the country, as it was already the case with some other relatively new NATO member countries. The membership, though, does not automatically mean more money. There are also other relevant factors, but again, it gives a good base for it together with other infrastructural elements. On the other hand, being a member of the alliance brings your country a position to sit at the same table with a lot of other countries, I would say, with the countries which belong to the strongest alliance in the world. And you will be at the table when important issue, global issue, but also regional and local issue will be discussed. And you will be able to participate in the decision-making process. That will also strengthen your country's international position.
Дали сте задоволен од спроведувањето на војните, но и на политичките реформи во земјава?
A month ago, we observed an exercise of your armed forces on Krivolak, on which occasion several of your units underwent NATO evaluation. That was an excellent practical example for the implementation of the reforms. Now the long-term defense development plan is entering the final phase, and we are sure that it will help enhancing the future reforms. Your Ministry of Defense and Army are well aware that many reforms have been completed, but there are many more to be done. Actually, the reform process is a never-ending one. Once you have reached a certain level, new areas open and new goals, new challenges which need to be reached emerge. On the other hand, once you join NATO, you will become a part of the family that is constantly improving, and we seek improvement. This means also changing. So to say, reforms and improvements are part of the human nature that are reflected on the institutions we have built.
Генерале Humar, ви благодарам што бевте гостин во неделното интервју на Радио Слободна Европа.
Thank you very much.
Вам, почитувани гледачи, ви благодарам за вниманието со кое не следевте. Довидување за 7 дена.